Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and the new MTG D&D, the sets that you can use for MTG D&D. All right, so let me define my terms. What is MTG D&D? I believe that MTG D&D is a new is a new Dungeons & Dragons version. So basically, essentially, what you could do is you could play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and you could use the MTG, you can use the Magic the Gathering first and foremost. You have to start with the Adventures in Forgotten Realms set. But there's so much you can do with these cards. You can actually run combats with them. You can replace NPCs with them. You can replace monsters with them. You can punctuate events that happen in the game. You can actually literally make a card log history of the game you're playing. It's truly incredible, and I think a lot of Dungeon Masters are going to be using these Magic the Gathering cards in Dungeons & Dragons going forward. They're really tactile. They have gorgeous art. It's just really fantastic, right? So I have just absolutely fallen in love with the Adventures in Forgotten Realms set, and I can't stop collecting it because I'm very, very convinced. Two reasons. I'm convinced they're going to go up in value for me. I'm not saying anybody else should buy these for value. I believe I know enough of, I started playing in Magic the Gathering in 1993. Literally the day I was in the shop when the first box arrived in 1993, right? So, and of course, I've been playing D&D since 1982. So I feel like I can buy the cards that I know are going to go up. So I'm very confident that I will not lose money and that I'm going to be able to sell a good bit of what I'm collecting at a higher rate, right? Just based on my own knowledge and my ability, just because I've been, buying and selling both of these things for a long time, right? So one, I am collecting them for value for me. I'm not suggesting anyone else does that, because I'm not sure you got the chops or the knowledge to do it, right? And because I don't assume anybody has the same knowledge I have of those two things, right? And then so you have all that going on. And then the other thing is I love using these in my Dungeons & Dragons game, and I'm already using the Adventures in Forgotten Realms in my games mechanically. I'm doing mechanical things with the cards, right? So it's really amazing. Now here's the thing. As soon as I started doing this, I'm like, well, wait a second. If Adventures in Forgotten Realms is usable in Dungeons & Dragons, and all this work has been done, and all this permissioning has been done by Wizards of the Coast to use Magic the Gathering in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, right? Can't we use some of the old sets? All right, so I've done the work. So this is pretty rare, but I got some actual homework done for you guys, and in the link below, you will find my list of everything I'm going to talk about in this video. So since 1993 to now, 2021, there have been 85 Magic the Gathering sets. Now, that's freestanding, unique sets that are not made of mostly reprints, right? I'm not talking about core sets. Core sets are reprints of a bunch of stuff from older sets, right? I'm talking real distinct worlds, real sets that are based on distinct worlds, right? So Ikoria, Dominaria, Kaldheim, Ice Age, every single one of these is set in its own world, okay? And there's 85 of these sets, right? So I was like, hey, there's just going to be a treasure trove of cards that I can use for Dungeons & Dragons, not just the Dungeons & Dragons set, right? So I went to work, and actually, when I started going and looking at the sets, I was like, wait a second, not all of these can be used for Dungeons & Dragons. Only some of them had. So I've gone through every single one of the 85 individual Magic the Gathering sets, and I have chosen the ones that are excellent for Dungeons & Dragons. Now, of course, first and foremost is Adventures in Forgotten Realms, and then I've chosen the ones that are middle of the road for Dungeons & Dragons, and I've chosen ones that are not good for Dungeons & Dragons, right? And here's the breakdown. Of the 85%, 16% of the sets that have been created for Magic the Gathering since 1993 are excellent for Dungeons and Dragons. 9% are 9% are middle of the road for Dungeons and Dragons, and 63 sets are not usable for Dungeons and Dragons. So that means that about 1 in 4 of the Magic the Gathering sets made since 1993 are actually usable in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition as usable functional cards, right? So my list is below. You can check it out. I'll just give you a quick, tour of some of the really good ones. So basically, Adventures in Forgotten Realms, Dominaria, Kaldheim, Ice Age, The Dark, Innistrad. I think there's a few others in there. All those are fantastic for Dungeons and Dragons use. Lock them and drop them. Like they just fit like a glove, right? Oh, Thrones of Exandria, not Thrones. Thrones. I cannot say the EXAL, but the Thrones of EXA, Thrones of Exalia. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm sure that's close, right? And a few other sets, but it's all in the list below. This is my list of if you want to get cards that are directly usable as NPCs, as equipment. And also, this is really big. Land, right? Locations in Dungeons & Dragons. Your game is going to get so much better when you use the lands from Magic the Gathering to give your areas color and locations, great names, different magical aspects. It's one of the best aspects of the game right there. Also, for your classes and for those are covered within these cards as well. And then also events, right? So now spells, surprisingly, are not covered well in Magic the Gathering for Dungeons & Dragons. But your NPCs, your player characters, your locations, your equipment, all those are deadlock simple, and your game will be made much, much better by using these Magic the Gathering cards. And then also commemorating events. That's a complex one. I'll probably have to do, I'm planning on doing a little bit of work and like showing people how I'm using these, and then also making a history of each game you're in. There's just so many uses for these cards. I believe I'm a little ahead of the curve on this. I don't think a lot of dungeon masters understand how cool this is and how useful it can be. But I am very convinced that these cards are going to go up, because I think the Dungeons & Dragons set is going to be one of the most valuable sets in Magic the Gathering, and the biggest. And that let me tell you right now, there's no evidence of that right now. I'm the only person saying that, and the reason why is I think it's just crossover. Every Magic the Gathering set before this was useful to Magic the Gathering players. This is the first one where I think 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, DMs will be making kits from this one set, or hopefully multiple sets if they do this again. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think of me doing a little homework and my document below. Love to hear your thoughts, and let me know if there's any corrections or additions. Thank you very much. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.